Hello everybody! Welcome back to the channel. This time we're going to be reacting to the Nami reveal. Now, I was almost convinced that we were done at Scion, but I kind of had a feeling that we would at least get one more or two more champions. And here we are. We're here with Nami. And my god, does she look so much better. In this art alone, does she look so much better than she does in League. Oh my gosh. Like, in League, she looks ridiculous in League. I'm just gonna say, she looks kind of ridiculous. But in this art, mwah, really good. Can't wait to see what she can do.
I decide what the tide will bring. I won't let my home be swallowed by...
And they updated her voice. Gave her a good, really good reverb. Like she's under the water. That's clever. Alright, 3 mana, 2/3. From Bilgewater. Yeah. Alright, okay. So, and Attune. So she's kind of like a 2-cost that comes down on 3. When you cast a spell, grant it. When you cast a spell, grant +1 to the weakest other ally that isn't immobile. So she can't give it to herself, but she can give it to other things. Alright. You've cast 7 spell mana this game. Specifically spell mana. Alright. Interesting.
Darkness.
My
people are counting on me.
That's, you can target spells and make it cost 2 more. Oh my gosh.
For the tribe!
I'll make corpses of them all.
Not if you drown first, brute.
Ooh. Whoa. Grant -2 power, grant -1 and vulnerable. So she's like the prankster card.
Rise with the surf.
What was that? No, never mind. I'm just gonna let it happen. That's the cost. Having mana to do that.
Heed my call. There's a pair of gills I'm happy to see. There's a Nami, rulers of the sea. I am the tide caller. I will drive back the darkness.
That looks so awesome. Alright, 3 mana, 3/4. When you cast a spell, grant +2/+1 to the weakest other ally that isn't immobile. I wonder why this keyword is this because of Monkey Idol? I think this is completely balanced around Monkey Idol. That'd be kind of funny.
Commence operation. We cover Moonstone. I'm counting on you, Admiral. Wash away.
Wait, before it only targeted. Wait a second.
The surging tides. I can't back down.
Okay, so Nami's more of a elusive synergy card. Lots of spells associated with her, which makes sense. Because I know she kind of is really required on... Wait. How is he getting so big? Oh god. Respect the tides, ebb and flow.
Move aside, small fry. Winner, winner, tuna dinner.
Oh my goodness.
My loved ones will be safe a while.
Oh! 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 Wow. Okay, so there's a lot of spells here. A lot to do with water. I like it. Ebb, flow, ebb and flow. I'm gonna go to yeah, I'm just gonna go to here and we're gonna take a look at these new cards. Alright, so this is the card I'm really interested about. Nami's Ebb. Alright, 2 mana fast speed. Deal 2 damage randomly to an enemy or the enemy's nexus. And create a flow in hand. All right, so we got the ebb, and now we need the flow. What's the flow? 2-mana burst speed. It's fleeting as well. Heal an ally or your nexus +2, and create an ebb and flow in hand. All right, and then we get the ebb and flow, which is a fast speed, but it's also fleeting. Interesting. Deal 2, do randomly to an enemy or the enemy nexus, and heal an ally or your nexus. So it does both. 2, 2, 4, 6. So to play all of these. Sorry, to play all 3 of these, that's 6 mana. And heals a total of 4, and deal 4 damage randomly for 6, and you can stop whenever. I mean, that's interesting. That's kind of interesting. Kind of. I mean, specifically spell mana has to be played. So a lot of times you might just end up playing attune cards, so you can fill up your spell mana. So you have more. So whenever you cast a spell, you're spending spell mana at the very least. And she wants to sort of play back for the first few turns, so that you can respond with spell mana to level her up much easier. So and it looks like her ability works really well, specifically with elusives, especially when she levels up. That +1 health is really important for an elusive style deck. So it looks like Nami is pushing more of this elusive style concept for Bilgewater, which is good. It's cool. I think it's a really awesome in general. But is that it? No. Okay. And these are the cards that were revealed. These 4 cards. I don't remember the tail. I remember seeing Curious Shellfolk and the Lady of Blood and the Mirror Mage. These cards were revealed during the tournament that was being streamed. Lady of Blood is a 4-mana 2/4. When you discard a non-fleeting card, create a fleeting copy of it in hand. Another engine. The Curious Shellfolk is an interesting card because when you pick a card from randomly selected options, create a copy in hand and reduce its cost by 1. That's an engine that could get out of control and works really well with Prank. But it's also 6 mana, so we'll see how that one goes. I'm interested to play around with this card. I don't remember the Tailcloak Monarch though. 5 mana 4/5. Each round, the first time you recall a follower, summon an ephemeral copy of it. That's pretty cool. Okay, that's interesting. Try to think if this works at all with Yasuo. It might. There are things that you might want to recall, but still want to chump block with, want to have board preference, because the biggest weakness of recall, or recalling your own units specifically, is that now you've made your board smaller and more susceptible to aggro concepts. So this helps with that a little bit, but it's also 5 mana. So, we'll see where this one fits. And Mirror Mage, when you play a created follower, summon an exact copy. When you play a created spell, cast it again on the same target. It's basically doubling up things of followers and spells. Kind of like Karma. 8 mana but it might be a little bit too slow for its engine. Like, it isn't like a fantastic engine, but it's also 8 mana. It comes down pretty late. However, if you stall enough, maybe with Shadow Isles, this could become really scary, especially with Gohard. Oh my gosh, there's so much Gohard synergy that's been released. Alright, but that's besides the point. Let's see some of these Nami cards. Alright. Abyssal Guard. 4 mana 2/3. Fearsome. When you cast a spell, give me +2 attack this round. Interesting. Fearsome isn't that great on units that are above 3 mana. Mostly because that's around the time when 3 attack units become more and more common. Not to say that it's terrible, it's just like, at most, this is a 4 mana for 3. And when you cast a spell, give me, and it's only for that round. Yeah, I don't think Abyssal Guard's all that great. I'll be honest. I struggle to find a reason to play this card. I don't think you would, because you got to first off, you have to pre-commit a spell in order for this to reach a somewhat decent stat line. And even then, it's not like it's not the premium 4-drop stat line. It's intentionally a terrible stat line, so you have to do its effect. But you don't want to spend. Why would you spend mana on the effect when the effect barely makes up for what it's already lacking? I don't agree with this card design. I don't like it. 6 mana, 4/5, Avatar of the Tides. All right. If you would get a mana gem, instead refill your spell mana. If you would get a mana gem, instead refill your spell mana. When you cast a spell, create it in hand. When you cast a spell, create in hand a random spell that costs 3 or less and give it fleeting. Alright, so it's an engine. I'm still a little confused on this front part. Is it like, okay, so like it goes into the next turn? I'm not. If you would get a mana gem, instead refill your mana. Your spell mana. So like, I'm not understanding. I don't. Maybe I'll have to see it in action. I don't understand this part of the card, but I understand this part of the card, and that part of the card is good. This part of the card is pretty damn good. All I know is that I'm sure this text right here means something for Nami. Specifically, I think this is probably one of her higher synergy cards, but I couldn't tell you what it is right now. I'm a little confused about this one. All right. So 5 mana, 3/3. Fleet Admiral Shelley. Elusive Attune. So it's basically a 4 mana 3/3 that's played on 5. Alright. Elusive. For every 2 spells you play in a round, grant other allies, like all allies, +1. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, very nice. I like it. I like it. I like it. All right. So, I mean, obviously, the biggest weaknesses of this card is it's 3 health. But you can make up for it because the whole idea of an elusive strategy is sort of to build it to go wide, and this directly benefits that. Because even if you play it, if you have enough spell mana to spend the 2 to play 2 spells to circumvent removal, then you will still get this effect off, and that +1 health can make a big +1/+1 can make a big difference to a full board state. Now, at this point, would you rather play like a Demacia card that already grants things +1 that cost 1 less, like Poppy? You'd probably want to play Poppy over this. But that's a champ slot, and it's also not elusive, so it's a consideration. And you could even, like, in Demacia, you could probably even pair it with Genevieve, Because, like, you play this and then you play Cytherea the Bold, and then you get a really beefy attack with Elusives. I mean, maybe I'm not thinking of other options, but yeah, this seems like a good card. All right, 3 mana, 4/3, Attune. Now this is what I'm talking about. This is actually a good card. Like compare the Journeying Sandhopper to this. It costs technically 2 less mana. It comes down on 3, but it's a pretty great amount of stats for only like relatively 2 mana. And the tune keyword itself is shot up in value with the inclusion of Nami due to her level up condition. So Attune is actually a lot more valuable now with Nami. So I actually think this is actually a really good card. Don't underrate this card. Even though it's like the worst kind of, it's a 4/3 and it could have been a 3/4 and it would be so much better. Like, because then it would be, it would be Badger Bear. Basically, you switch these two stats, it's Badger Bear. This card is like has the greatest number of stats that you would want on a 3-drop, and has a tune. So a lot of value with this card. All right, and the Mira Songstress, 2 mana, 3/2. When I'm summoned, if you cast the spell this round, grant me Elusive. All right, so you pass 1. On 2, you play a 1 mana card, and then you play this, and then you get an Elusive, 2 mana, 3/2. That's really good. That's really good, and it actually increases in value later on because a lot of times in these elusive style decks, like I've said before, you want to spread out, and the likelihood of you having enough mana to cast a spell and then play this is very high later on in the game. So it maintains this value while having a really good stat line for an elusive unit. Awesome card. All right, so Mira Warden, 2 mana, 2/1. When I'm summoned, summon a random 1-cost follower. Oh, 2 mana, 2/1, make another follower. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I don't see a problem with it. It's like it's very much like what's that card? I'm gonna have to search it. Petty Officer. It's a lot like Petty Officer, but for 1 less mana, you get 1 less attack, and you don't get the possible powder kick synergy. It's not a bad card. Reminds me a lot of Spider. Reminds me a lot of Spider. It's very close to Spider's power level. Very close. Mara Great Mother, 4 mana, 3/3. When I'm summoned, create 5 random 6-cost spells in your deck and lower their cost to 3. Ooh, that's very interesting. That actually could work really well with Predict. But the question is, are like 6-cost cards even worth it? Alright. Can't why can't I just search up their mana value and they all appear? Well, I'll have to look at the possibilities later. But that in itself, there's a bunch of 6 mana cards that aren't very good and some that are really good. So this card is entirely dependent on what kind of 6-cost cards you're getting, and the pool for them is pretty large, so it might just be too inconsistent. Let's take this Tidal Wave. Deal 1 to 2 different randomly target enemies and create a crashing wave in your deck. Crashing Wave. Deal 2 to 4 randomly. Create targeted enemies and create a colossal wave in your deck. Deal 4 to all enemies and the enemy nexus. Interesting. This reminds me a lot of actually of Go Hard. This is like it's very similar to Go Hard, except it costing 3 mana instead of 1 mana, and being a little bit random on the first 2 casts. But obviously, after you play it the first time, the second and third time are both well worth the cost. It's just getting past the initial cost, and it's also getting it again. So either play this with a bunch of predict, or hope you get lucky. I love the design of the card. I don't think it will be very good. But who knows? Maybe you run this with Go Hard or something like that. That could be interesting. But that's all the cards, right? Yeah. It's hard to judge Nami. I think she's on the weaker end of the reveals we've seen so far, but I like her design, and I kind of like what they're going for with her. With her level up in particular. She obviously is meant to be played in an elusive style deck. And I just don't know if Village Watcher Elusives is ready or has enough tools for it to make a difference. Though that also depends on what region you pair her with. And I mean, Ionia is the obvious one for me. Or Ionia or Demacia to be paired with her. So, but that's what I'm thinking. Tell me what you guys think in the comments section. I would love to have a conversation there. And I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.